everybody, and welcome back to a very special Fight and Focus. We're here in Washington, D.C. in the Capital One Arena, and we are getting ready for AEW Dynamite. Again, I'm Josh Shernoff, and I am joined now by two executive vice presidents and one of the greatest tag teams, arguably the greatest tag team in professional wrestling today, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. Thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Thanks for putting us over.
What a sweetheart. One of the greatest of all time. Is that what you said?
That's what I'm here for.
I'll take it.
So one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about, obviously I mentioned executive vice presidents. Everybody knows you. The two of you are part of the team that's responsible for us even being here. You made a career for yourselves as kind of being anti-establishment, right? And now, officially tonight, debuting AEW Dynamite on TNT, you kind of become the new establishment. What is that feeling like to know, for other wrestlers that are coming in, what does that feel like to you to know that you've done that?
Oh, man, it's crazy. What a whirlwind this has been. Because there's highs and lows. Pro wrestling, it's a crazy industry. So that the lows were almost so low that this guy wanted to quit. Yeah. So it's crazy to see where we're at just 8 years later when he wanted to quit. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to put it all in a bow, and I would have to say that this is the biggest night of our career, obviously, and we're excited. Something's going on right now out in the arena. Someone's pissed, but this night means the world to us. It's the biggest night of our lives, so we have to hit a home run, and we will. We've hit 4 before this, so it's time to deliver. So if you want to add to that, you can.
I'm astonished. I walked into this place and I said, "Oh my God, is this our show?" Yeah. Like literally, we used to run a backyard wrestling company in my parents' backyard, and eventually we ran a little independent wrestling company out of a skating rink, and here we are now. And I just look at this place. I'm like, really? Like, this
it's hard to put words into it. You know what I mean?
It's surreal.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like I was talking to him about this earlier. I said, you know what? I think like the celebration is kind of over now. Like we've had a lot of big shows and we've been very successful, but now it's like, okay, now it's time to put in the work. Now it's time to put out great content and maybe stop, patting ourselves on the shoulder every second. Like it does feel great and it is good to celebrate, but this is our life now, and we have to be ready to do this on a weekly basis. So it's a challenge, and I got on the airplane yesterday, and I thought to myself, my life is forever changed because as long as I want to be in the business, I'm probably going to be getting on an airplane every Tuesday morning now, and this is my life, and I love it. This is what we wanted, and here we are. So.
And both of you mentioned, the 4 shows before, the success that was. But, of course, they were supercards, and they were fantastic.
Right.
But there's a difference between that and a weekly episodic TV show. What is something that fans that are watching on FITE TV here, what is something that they can expect that's different than maybe what we've been seeing in those standalone pay-per-views, right. And maybe even different than some other professional wrestling options that might be out there?
Yeah. Well, right off the bat, we have the best professional wrestlers in the world signed to All Elite Wrestling, so you're going to see the best wrestling. You're going to be seeing the best tag team wrestling because we've personally picked every tag team that's in the company, and we feel strongly that we have the best tag division all in wrestling. So you're going to see the best wrestling in wrestling. You're going to see more stories. You're going to see a lot of action, though. The action is going to be in this arena. You're not going to see much stuff backstage. It's going to be a lot of wrestling in-ring action. So.
And to answer your question about how it's going to be different from the 4 other shows is those were marathon shows. Those were pay-per-views, basically. Yeah. So we're talking 4 or 5-hour shows where, some of the matches went 35 minutes or whatever. And now we understand we're on a 2-hour, it's really 90 minutes with commercials. Sure. It's 90 minutes of content. So we're going to have a tighter show, a more buttoned up show. We're going to have to try to, involve all of our characters on a weekly basis, even if it means they're not necessarily wrestling, but they're still popping in and showing their faces on the screen. Right. And that's our job, to nurture these characters and nurture these stories and make sure everyone on the roster is getting shown just enough, and every story is being told just enough. So but you're right. It's like it's a different animal. This thing, this weekly episodic thing. The only thing we've ever done on a weekly basis is create Being the Elite, and it's just a web series. But you know what? I feel like, and we've talked about this a lot lately, I feel like engineering, doing the show, creating the show, editing the show, creating the show, writing the show, acting on the show, it's on a weekly basis for 3.5 years.
Yep.
It's really helped us get to this point, so we do have a little bit of knowledge of what we're getting into. But I mean, again, this is television. This is a whole different ball game.
Yep.
But we're ready.
Now, can we talk a little bit about, obviously, we're here, FITE TV, everyone can see.
Yep.
Can we talk a little bit about AEW Plus on FITE TV, what that has to offer the fans who are watching all around the world? Can you tell us a little bit about what your vision is for that and what they can expect from AEW Plus?
It's to try to get more eyeballs on the product, and we have a great relationship with FITE, so we knew right away, hey, do you guys want to get involved with this? And you guys were all on board, so we knew we could trust you guys because you guys have hit home runs every time.
You guys have been with us since day one, really. So it was, it was an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And maybe there'd be footage that you not necessarily see if you're watching television. If you do the FITE deal, raw stuff maybe that happens in commercial breaks. You know what I mean? So
you don't even need a cable package. You know what I mean? You could just get this. So there's a lot of advantages to it. So we're very excited and very happy.
This is the future, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, can we talk a little bit about this T-shirt? This is an incredible design.
I actually photoshopped it myself, so I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to like it very much, but I promised him one thing, and if I delivered, then he'd be happy. And I said, if it's not a bestseller for the first week we put it on, then you have to give the thumbs up. And well, he's forced to give me the thumbs up.
No,
so.
Is he forced to just keep wearing it? Is that was that?
I think it's growing on him.
Yeah,
I think it's growing.
He sent me a message. 5 messages earlier, and asked me if I would wear it.
You know what? To say that here a lot.
No. I mean,
it's just between us.
And then he's right. This and the other one, they're on the bestsellers list.
They really
on
are.
ProWrestlingTees.com/YoungBucks. So I'll hand it to them.
Yeah, the other one, if you guys haven't seen it, it's really worth a look. It's
even better than this one, I think.
A little more cartoony. A couple characters working their way into there. Yeah, it's fantastic. Obviously, that's something that merchandise is something that AEW has come out very strongly with. A lot of people even made the joke about how AEW was just a T-shirt company.
Oh yeah, we heard that.
There were no
times.
wrestle, but again, the success of the merchandise before you guys even had your first show
crazy.
Speaks to the passion of the audience. And that brings me to another question. What are you going to do? Obviously you talked about having more eyeballs on. Is your focus on trying to get the fans that maybe they're lapsed fans, is your focus first and foremost the fans that have been here from All In, that have been here
for
from
sure?
Day one?
Yeah, but like you just said, those lapsed fans. Let's be honest. This was only 20 years ago, and almost 6 million of them aren't watching weekly. So if we could get a percentage of them back to this and to support what we're doing now, that's huge. We've become successful overnight. So that's definitely one main goal that we have here is to try to get them back, because they obviously liked wrestling before. So we just need to somehow bring the appeal back. And how do you do that? I don't know, but we're going to try to figure it out.
My last question for you guys, because I know you're busy. I know you have a couple of things to do today. The tag team division. You mentioned about how you handpicked every single tag team that's in this division. Obviously, you would love to be the inaugural AEW Tag Team Champions. I'd have to imagine. Did any of that go into your mind? Because you didn't pick a bunch of slouches. You picked the absolute best tag teams you could possibly find. Does that speak to who you are as people, who you are as athletes, wanting to have the best competition? Because there are a lot of people who are going to say, hey, you're executive vice presidents. Or you guys are going to be the first tag team champions. Was that kind of the mindset behind that of, Well, okay, but we're going to go through the absolute best to prove to you that we earned this.
It was a big deal from us. I stood on the podium, and it was, what was it, in Vegas? And I said, hey, I stood there and I said, our main objective is to have the best tag team division in the world, and we've handpicked, like Nick said earlier, every tag team on this roster because we've torn the house down or had a great match or seen a great match from the people that we know and we trust and we've wrestled. And I joke with Nick sometimes, and I go, man, is it going to bite us in the ass that we got the best teams? Like, we could have made this a lot easier on ourselves, right?
You know what, at the same time, though, we're very competitive. Very.
Yes.
Anytime we don't win a Tag Team of the Year award, it really does make us mad.
Well, that was like 5 years ago, I think. At this point, right?
But you know what I mean? Like it gets our blood going. You know what I mean? And
or anytime a team just steps along and has
and the fans are going, oh man, there's a better tag team than the Young Bucks.
Yeah,
we
they're
go, whoa, really?
matches.
Who is it? Who is it? You know?
It angers me and it makes me a little ill, but at the same time, I like that feeling because I go, all right, I got to work a little bit harder. So that's why we wanted to surround ourselves around the best. It's like if these guys are having a better match than us, it's like, well, okay, then maybe we need to, work harder.
Yep.
So yeah, it's tricky. It's one of those things where it's like we could have made it a little easier on ourselves, but that's not our style.
But that's what All Elite Wrestling's all about. And don't be surprised if many TV shows end with a main event with a tag team match because we have the best around.
Tonight's a 6-man tag team match.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to happen very often. So.
Well, good luck tonight with your 6-man tag team match. Good luck tonight with the entire show. And thank you so much for taking the time.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here.
And thank you guys. Appreciate the support.